Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today I'm back with another video here. So, for right now, I have a little bit of a different setup. As you can see, I'm basically not really in the same spot. I'm like catty-cornered, unfortunately, and I am getting a new desk, and that is on its way. And I had a couple other things that I have coming to make my setup a little bit better. And as of now, I actually got a tripod for my camera. It used to sit on a hockey puck case, and if I get it, and just this is what it would sit on. It's a signed Radko Gudas puck that's in a case, and it sat there. And I had a little Sharpie marker that could tell where the camera could sit, and that's where the lens would sit. So that was kind of my very basic, boring setup, and I never had anything else to fix that, so this is what I have now. I have the tripod, which is what the camera's on now, and then I have a caddy corner because it's too big to kind of fit. It'll be better because I have a bigger desk coming, and I will be back to my old spot. If you've been watching my videos, so it'll be going up against that wall, it'll face this wall, the camera, all that stuff. So it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. Again, a little bit of a different setup, but let's get into the game. So, very disappointing game tonight. It's unfortunate because it was just one of those nights. And you could just kind of tell. It seemed like for most of the game, the Flyers were trying to pass the puck into the net. As they lose 4-1 to the Chicago Blackhawks in game 47, and the last time they will be wearing the reverse retros for the season, they finished 4-4 in those jerseys in the 8 games that they wore them with the Cooperalls. So, unfortunately, again, just couldn't really get much going throughout this game. I was at this game tonight. I went with a couple of my buddies, Travis Ballinghoff from Nasty Knuckles. He's a producer of the show. Had an extra ticket, which was actually Riley Cote's tickets, and then we ended up going. So it was fun. I had a good time. Unfortunately, the Flyers just ended up losing. Lines in this one were the same. Names like Frost, Tippett, Farabee, Cates, Konechny, Hayes, Lawton, and Allison, Delorier, Brown, and McEwen, Provorov and York, Sanheim and D'Angelo, Sealer, Ristolainen, and Carter Hart was in net for this one. Flyers would score the opening goal of this game. It was really like back and forth first period, and right from the get-go, you could kind of tell Chicago was on it. They were 4-1-0 in their last 5. They were, I think 4-6 in their last 10 going into it. So all their wins were coming up recently, and they've definitely been playing better, and it showed. Flyers did get the first goal though. Morgan Frost scored again. That's 2 goals in 2 games for Frost. He's had some good moments, and this is the stuff that you want to see. Everybody says, oh, he's only scoring against Arizona or Anaheim or Chicago. It's literally the dumbest argument ever. It doesn't matter who he's scoring against. He's scoring. I mean, you literally could say the same thing about Tippett if you wanted. Like, it's just that everybody nitpicks everything about Frost. Athens CU would tie the game on a breakaway, literally seconds after the Flyers had scored, and it gets called back for offside. So no goal. It was a clear offside by at least like a good 4, 5, 6 inches, at least offside. McEwen has a partial breakaway. He misses on that. Flyers had a couple of looks. Lawton got hurt. He went right into the net. Came back out, into the board, came back out. He was fine, though. Flyers will get a power play here. They really didn't get much from the first unit. D'Angelo had a shot that got blocked. Decent period. Again, you're up 1-0. That was what you wanted. You wanted to carry that over. You had that power play. York had a failed keep in. There really wasn't much going on. D'Angelo had a chance from the point. Couple chances from the Hayes line. Again, I thought the Flyers had looks. They had legit chances. They had 15 shots in the second period. Had 17 in the third. Mrazek was fantastic for Chicago. As you see on the board, stops 37 of 38. Again, he just played really solid. And, Taves would tie the game. There was a tip in the slot. And then the Flyers get a power play after that. Connecting against the post. It comes back out off of Mrazek. It's like, oh my God. No goal. Really not much from the second unit. Again, it was back and forth. I personally thought York had a good game. I thought he made some really nice plays exiting, getting out of the zone. Nice plays making tight turns. Ristolainen again, who I thought was good. And I also like the Hayes line. 2-1. Reese Johnson would score the eventual game winner. Shot from the slot that goes in, kind of went under Hart's arm. So unfortunately, it was just one of those nights where it didn't seem like they had it. They looked flat, and not even flat in the sense of like they didn't have energy. Like the energy was there at times, but it was just like meh. It wasn't. It was just really wasn't there. And Frost had a chance in tight, and then the Flyers just kind of looked sloppy after the goal. A lot of times the Flyers had to recycle on breakouts because they just couldn't get out of the zone. And then when you're down 2-1 going into the third period, you're like, all right, we need to start here. We need something to get going. And then Tyler Johnson made it 3-1 like 30 seconds into the period. And that just took pretty much all the wind out of the Flyers' sails. Again, they had shots. Mrazek was very good. Unfortunately, they just couldn't really solve them towards the end of it. And that's what it was. And then the Hawks, they get an empty netter. And yeah, that was their first win, first regular season win in Philly since 1996. We all know what other wins they had in Philly. I up until this point, I knew a game like this was going to come for the Flyers because you've had a run where you've scored a lot of goals, or you've beaten the teams you were supposed to beat. You've beaten the Anaheims, you've beaten Arizona, like you've beaten all of these other teams that you're really supposed to beat, and you won some games that were good wins against Washington and things like that. You get pumped against Boston, and now the Flyers go into again. And the other thing about this too is just they have such a tough schedule coming up. I mean, like if you're just looking at the Flyers schedule, and it's tough because you can't really. Again, obviously, everybody deals with a schedule at some point. But if you're looking for the Flyers, right, you have from the 8th on, the 8th of January on, the game on the 9th was added against Buffalo. So they lose that game against Toronto 6-2. They played the next night in Buffalo. Then 2 nights later in Philly on Wednesday. So Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday they had 2 days off. And then Saturday, then they went to Boston, then at home against Anaheim, so it was a back-to-back, then Chicago tonight. Then you have Detroit Saturday in Detroit. Then you're back home Sunday night at 7 against the Winnipeg Jets. Tuesday night at home against Los Angeles. And then your Thursday in Minnesota, and then Saturday night in Winnipeg on the 28th. It's not easy, and it doesn't get any easier. There's only 1 day off in between the rest of these games to end out January. And just looking ahead at February a little bit, then the Flyers have the week off for the All-Star game. Then they're back up against the 6th against the Islanders at home. So it's tough. It's a tight schedule. There isn't a lot of room for error. And towards mentioned postgame, they have to find the energy somewhere. That's the main thing. Find the energy, see what you can do with it, and try to end out a pretty good month of January strong. If you're looking at this month alone, they only have 3 losses in this month. Toronto, Boston, and Chicago, and that's through 2, 4, 6, 8, like nine games basically. 9 games. So again, you're 6-3 for this month so far, and you want to be able to kind of just keep that going. So it is what it is. I mean, for tonight, this was a game that I looked at like, all right, should be able to win this game. Chicago's not great. They just, unfortunately, just didn't have it tonight. But again, the good thing about this is the schedule, right? Because you can just kind of go right into it. And, you're right back on it on Saturday against the Red Wings. So let me know what you guys thought below. Remember to check out the podcast. That'll be at next Friday at 8 p.m. here on YouTube. The 27th with Craig Berube and Nick McElwain. Very, very excited for that one, episode 23. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you enjoyed watching this video. Stay tuned. Again, I apologize. It's a little bit of a wonky kind of setup for at the moment, but just stay tuned for next week. It'll be here. So by the couple of videos by the 26th and the 28th, by February, it'll definitely be here. And it's going to be very exciting stuff. So thanks everybody so much, and I'll talk to you all again soon.